Hello and welcome to day 26 of our 30-day challenge with Healthy Core and Yoga Flow series. So however you have used this challenge, if it's once every day for 30 days, or if it's once a week or some combination, I hope you enjoy it. And we have worked our way up today all the way to Urdhva Dhanurasana, or any form of bridge pose is our peak pose coming up. So with that, we're gonna first just start with sitting comfortably and putting our hands in our lap and sitting nice and tall on our sit bones. Setting an intention for our practice to raise any vibrations that needs to come a little bit further up to the surface and to loosen up any stagnant energy. This is Freckles, she's a good yoga cat. And with that, we'll just take a few moments to sit. Sitting nice and tall on the sit bones. Setting any intention that we want to bring in for ourselves. And gently from there, bring our hands together in front of the heart and join our voices in one Om. Let's take a nice big inhale. And release the hands and come to all fours, and we'll start with our cat-cow. And wake up the spine, wake up the muscles, the ligaments, tendons that surrounds the spine and helps us flow the energy through the body. Let's tuck the toes and have our wrists and shoulders aligned, and exhale, arch the spine all the way up towards the sky. And inhale, long spine, and exhale, bring the lower belly in, middle belly, upper back. Nice big wide back, and inhale, looking up between the eyebrows, and exhale, just keep that nice flow going, and gently bringing it back out. And we'll do two more, arching the spine all the way and bringing it back down, and one more time, arching the spine all the way up towards the sky. And gently from here, taking it all the way back down and laying onto our backs, and continue with our healthy core exercises to help us when we come to our back fence today. So let's come all the way down onto our backs, and from here we are going to take the hands behind the head and simply just do our abdominal crunches for 10 times, and then we're going to pulse for 10. So here we go. Exhale and inhale, and exhale and inhale, exhale and inhale. 7 more, 6 more, 5 more, 4, 3, and 2, and 1, and then we're going to hold it all the way up and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and bring it all the way back down. And then from here, take your hands flat on the mat and bring your knees in, and we'll come into reverse curls. Bring your knees in, and then we'll exhale and take it back out, straight legs, and bring it up, and exhale, take it back out, straight legs. Keep that lower back nice and plugged in, and again, bring it all the way up, and exhale out, and bring it up, and exhale out. We'll have 12 more, and 11 more, really rolling through the core. 10 more, staying nice and plugged in, upper body, lower body. 8 more. Just kind of building that midline nice and strong. 7 and 6 and 5, 4 more and 3 more and 2 more. Bring it in and bring it all the way back out, and put your feet flat onto the floor. Take a pause, and then from here take the lower back and pull it all the way in towards the yoga mat, and bind the upper and the lower body together and really hug the midline. Skin to muscle, muscle to bone, relax the glutes. And we've done this many times throughout this little series, and today I feel like it's almost more important because we want to hug the midline, really upper lower body together, so when we do expand out into a back bend later on today, we'll have a nice plugged in center line and core, and the lower back feels nice and supported. So we're going to hold it for just a little bit more right here. We're just laying here, vacuum sucking the belly in and stabilizing all of the muscles. And again, if you've done this with me for all these days, then I have a feeling that you can really feel this a lot right now. So we hold it for a few more breaths right here. And just holding it and vacuum sucking the belly, plugging everything in, and really engaging the bandhas of the body, the Uddiyana Bandha, the upward flowing motion that will help us later to push up into a back bend. So we'll hold it for 2 more breaths right here. Really wrapping the whole front side in, and then exhale, bring it back down. And you can give yourself a couple of like arches, cat-cows right here. And then slowly from here, we'll take it back with the lower back in towards the mat, and take the hands up and find the top of the knees and hold it for 20 counts. 19, 18, and the lower back stays in, and we just press the knees and the hands into each other. 15 more, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10 more counts, 9 more, nice, 8 more, 7, 6, lower back stays in, 5 more, 4 more, pressing hands and knees, 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more, and take it all the way back down. Nice. I hope you feel that just as much as I do. And then from here, take your arms up towards the sky and take your legs up into tabletop. So here we go again, same arm, same leg, starting with the right side and bring it back up. Left side, bring it back up. And we'll just continue with that for 18 more on each side. And you can keep your shoulder blades down, or you can build your midline a little bit more. Maybe we need to lift up the shoulder blades and plug a little bit more in for 15 more. And 14 and 13 and 12. We just keep this going. Lower back stays in towards the mat. 11 and 10 more and 9 more and 8 more. And from here we'll just keep it going. 7 should be a nice awareness feeling in towards the organs, in towards the whole front side of the belly. 6 more. 5 more. Double check that that lower back stays in towards the yoga mat. 4 more. And 3 more. And 2 more. And 1 more. And bring it all the way back in. Few, and take a little pause. Extend your legs all the way up. We'll take alternate leg stretches and either keep the shoulder blades down or lift it all the way up. This will come in later too. If we decide that we want to raise one leg up, then it's nice to have that in the mind and the body, kind of memorize it for what's coming up. So take a hold of that right leg and drop the left leg. Roll the shoulder blades off, and we'll do 20. And we use the core to lift the legs, and we'll just give it a little bit of a tug in towards the hamstring area, in towards the hips. 15 more, and 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, and we keep smiling. 8 more, 7, and 6. Use the power of the core, really loosen up any stagnation. 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more for good measure. And then slowly bring the knees in towards the chest. And let's roll all the way up and come to child's pose, facing forward. Stretch the arms all the way forward and sink the hips down to the heels, elongating the whole side body from hip to shoulders to wrists to fingertips. Rest your forehead to the floor and elongate and rest in towards the seat, lower back area. And gently come back to all fours. Take your yoga mat and scrunch it up. Coming to tiger dog, feet on each side of the mat. Lift your hips and find your torso and your ribs towards each other. Bending and really creating a nice curve into the lower back. A nice healthy lumbar curve as we tone into the belly. Look between the hands. Find a little bit more upper back curve. 1 more breath right here. And then gently extend back out and come to downward facing dog as you pedal in towards your ankles, in towards your knees. And from here, step your feet over to your hands and take forward fold. Take a hand in each and elbow. Gently release your hands to your hips, elbows to sky, root your feet. Come all the way up to standing and release the hands. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And exhale, hands to earth. Folding forward, inhale, unravel the spine. And exhale, fold. Step back to plank pose. Take a pause in plank. And exhale, come all the way down to the belly. Inhale to cobra. Inner shoulder to outer shoulder. Chest forward. Nice smile from shoulder to shoulder. Pull the ears back. And exhale, release. Bring it all the way back. Take downward facing dog out of Mukha Svanasana from the core. Lift back into downward facing dog. Take your right leg up to the horizon. Spread your toes. Summon the energies all the way into the midline. Maybe raise your leg a little bit higher as you plug in your core and just extend from your very midline, from the strength of the center. And then step your right foot between the hands. Take your left knee to the floor. Inhale, arms up to the sky. From here, take your elbows down for cactus pose. So your arms are in a nice cactus shape. Come forward in the outer hips. Lift your heart, your chest, your lungs. And bring your arms all the way up. Palms are facing forward. Exhale, release hands to the floor. Step back, down dog. Take your downward facing dog. Breathing. Step your left foot up to the sky. Sweep it up to the horizon. Spread your toes. And then summon all the powers you have into the midline and sweep your left leg up. And then step your left foot between the hands and take your right knee down to the floor. Inhale, arms forward and up, and then bend the elbows. Turn your hands slightly back, shoulder blades together, and then lean forward to your hips and come into a cactus pose, low lunge, thigh stretch variant. Sweep your arms up as your shoulder blades goes down onto the back. And exhale, release, hands to the floor. Step it all the way back, downward facing dog. Plank pose, lower all the way to the floor. Inhale to cobra, inner shoulder to outer shoulder. Exhale, bring it back, push back, downward facing dog. Exhale, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Right leg up to the horizon. Summon everything into the midline, press your palms down, claw your fingertips, collect energy from the palms up the arms. Step your right foot between your hands. Hands to your right quad, arch your spine up towards the sky, create lots of space for the back body, release the hands, inhale, arms all the way up. High crescent lunge, take the arms out to the side, right arm underneath your left for eagle arms. Palms together, and let's arch the spine here, create lots of space for the back body, and then slowly come back up into a nice erected spine. Release the hands, inhale, arms up to the sky, palms together, and exhale, release, hands to the floor. Step it back, downward facing dog. Give yourself a few breaths right here. Sweep your left leg up to the horizon, heel up. Summon every power you have into the midline, and then extend your leg from there. Hips are nicely squared off. Step your left foot between your hands. Hands to your left thigh. Arch your spine to the sky. Full extension for the back body. And release the hands to the sides. Inhale, arms all the way up. Take your hands down and take your left arm underneath your right for eagle arms onto your high crescent lunge on your left side. Arch the spine all the way out and back. Expand the back body and gently release. Take your arms up towards the sky, palms together if it's available. Extend the whole side of the waist, fully elongating to the quads. Open the hip flexors. Exhale, release, hands to the earth. Step back, down dog. Come forward to plank pose. Lower all the way to the floor and inhale into cobra, inner shoulder to outer shoulder, and exhale, bring it all the way back. Child's pose, big toes together, knees apart. Take a pause in child's pose and let all of that sip in and go into places where maybe we haven't been before, even though those are poses you have probably done before, but each and every one just clears and cleans layers and helps us to raise vibrations and come into different frequencies with each and every yoga pose. Press the palms, lift the upper arm bones. Downward facing dog, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Step your right foot between your hands. Come nice and low and extend. Toe up, heel down, right side, and come all the way down. Drink it all the way in and exhale. Heel down, toes up, and again, inhale. Drink it all the way up. Come into crescent lunge. So square your knee and your ankle off. Left hand stays down. Right arm comes up towards the sky. And take the gaze all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, release, bring it all the way back down. Step back, downward facing dog. Urdhva Dhanurasana. Left foot between the hands. Stay nice and low. Lift your chest, your heart, drink it in through the heart space. Extend back into pyramid variant and gently come all the way back down. Drink it all the way in. And exhale. And inhale. And come into a high crescent lunge. Support yourself with your right hand and open your left arm up to the sky. Big wide crescent twist. And exhale, release, hands to the floor, step it back, downward facing dog. And come forward to plank pose, lower all the way to the floor. Inhale to cobra, inner shoulder to outer shoulder. And exhale, take it back down, this time downward facing dog, tuck the toes under and summon the energy into the midline and push back, downward facing dog. Urdhva Dhanurasana. Step your right foot between the hands. Left knee to the floor and left hand can come out to the side. Right arm comes all the way up towards the sky. Sink forward in the hips, coming into a quad stretch, whether you have your foot down or if you take your hand and your foot into each other. And lift your heart, your chest, and twist and turn, reaching the deeper layers. And then exhale, release, take it back down, step back, downward facing dog, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Left foot between the hands, right knee to the floor, take your right hand out to the side, left arm up towards the sky. Either stay here for your super yummy quad stretch, hip opening pose, or take your hand and your foot into each other and press your hand and your foot, getting into the deeper layers of the right quad, in towards the twist and turn. And exhale, release. Take it all the way back down, hands to the floor, downward facing dog, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Plank pose. Lower all the way to the floor. Inhale to cobra, inner shoulder to outer shoulder. Drink it in through the heart space. Take your low cobra, your high cobra, whatever version that you're working on with your back. Exhale, release. Downward facing dog, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Give yourself a few breaths right here. Come up onto the toes, bend the knees, look between the hands, take a step or a hop over to the hands. Inhale, long spine, exhale, fold. Hands to hips, elbows to sky, come all the way up to standing and release the hands. Let's bring the hands up towards the sky and take your right arm over towards the left side. Long side body, sipping all the way into the center line of the spine and gently coming up and over, switching to the second side, having a nice slight bend into the knees so the hips and the ankles are neatly stacked, and then gently bringing it back up. Take the hands down, step your right foot behind your left and bend your left knee. Take the right arm all the way up and over. And give ourselves a little bit more of a side body extension and lengthening. So by the time we come to a back bend, the whole side body is ready to just hug the midline and helping us with the elongation of the spine and the muscles around it. And then gently come all the way up, arms out to the side, switch sides. Take your left over. You could have taken the arms down. They don't have to stay out there the whole time. Bend your right knee. Now take the arms up. Take your left hand up and give it a little extra lift with your right hand. And a little over to the side. So your right knee is bent, your left leg is behind. Really work in towards that whole side body from your left hip through the ribs, intercostal muscles, armpit, shoulder area, and then gently take it all the way back up. Hands to the side. And take them to the hips. Step your feet hip widths apart, further than hip widths apart, to step them apart in a comfortable way. You can come to Uttanasana or you can come to Prasarita or something in between. I just really want to get into the shoulders. So let's bring the shoulders up and back, bend into the knees. I'm kind of have my feet a little bit right in between because it feels good for my hips. So choose the width that feels really good for your hips. And then we're going to hinge and fold forward and hinge and fold and hinge and fold. And gently from there, taking the hands, either leaving them onto the shoulder blades, leaving the hands on the sacrum, and just simply lifting the shoulder blades up and away, or also lifting the arms up and away. So see what works for you to open up. Moving side to side, top of the head towards the floor. Breathing into the shoulders, rolling them up and back, whichever variant that you have. Take your hands back down to the sacrum and all the way to the floor. Place your hands flat onto the floor or your yoga mat and arc the spine to the sky. And hinge it all the way back down like a nice big cat-cow. Bend into your knees so you can really articulate each and every vertebrae and really get into the spaces of the hips. We're plugging the femurs nice and strong into the hip socket. We'll do one more. Spine up to the sky and hollowing it all the way back down, and exhale, release to a neutral spine. Come to down dog. Pedal in towards your heels, lifting any stagnation off the ankles, the knees, the hips. Open pathways for new vibrations to reach us in this completely new down dog for today. There's a new one each and every time we take one. Stretch fully all the way from the fingertips to the toes. One more nice deep breath right here. And slowly come all the way onto plank and lower to the belly for Shalabhasana. Take your forehead towards the mat. Click all of the 10 toes down. Raise your shoulder blades up and away. Lift your torso and take your hands to the side. Toning in towards the whole erector spinae group. Lifting and lifting and lifting. And exhale, bring it all the way back down. Hands as a pillow. And give yourself a little wiggle side to side with the hips. And gently come back again. This time take your hands behind you, interlace your hands, roll the shoulders up and back, click all of the 10 toes strongly down, and come all the way up into Shalabhasana with your hands interlaced behind you, and move about the way you need to move about to make it feel good for your shoulder opener, for your whole back body toning pose. And then release your hands and take your hands towards the floor. Push back into child's pose. Big toes together and knees apart. Stretch the arms forward. And gently from here, come to tabletop. Take tiger dog, hands around your mat again. Tiger dog number 2. We'll take it into a little bit of a different version. Take your toes on each side of the mat and maybe even step your feet in slightly. Bend your knees, raise your sacrum and have your ribs and your thighs connecting, and then look between the hands, tone the belly and really create this nice spine curve, digging into the space right behind the heart, plugging the femurs for happy lower back, and then gently release the heels down and look towards the hands. This should be a nice heart opening feeling in the whole upper back. And then gently release the hands and come to downward facing dog, or normal, so to speak, down dog. And then from here, take a step or a hop over to the hands. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, fold. And fold all the way down into a squat and hang out here for a moment, grounding the feet, expanding the back body, and then from there, come all the way down to a seat. And we're going to roll all the way down onto our back, so we can take the arms forward, heels up, toes, heels down, toes up, and then roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. And coming all the way down, stretch the arms over the head. Take the feet flat, and then from there, we can take the hands back down towards the sides. You can also take a block at this time if you need support with a block and use it underneath the sacrum. And otherwise, we're gonna focus on building that strength to be able to hold our back bend and kind of using all of the muscles from the hips, the glutes, and the whole torso area is just hugging all the way in to keep us upright and lifted. So see what works for you, but if you need the support of a block, take the block. Feet flat, knees up, press the head, shoulder blades underneath, take the hands around the yoga mat and scrunch it up and come into bridge pose with your feet flat and your hips lifted, and we'll use even amount of muscles for the hips to lift them all the way up. And have a good time right here. Moving into the places where we need to unleash some energy, and we might hold it a little extra to really make sure that we are reaching those places and preparing the body for our back bend practice today. And then exhale, bring it all the way back down. And that was a back bend, so that was certainly one part of it. It's hard to hold it up there, so sometimes it's nice if you use a block a lot to not use the block and just hug it in. But then again, if you do the support, bring in the block. Take the hands, again, take two around the yoga mat. Take and vacuum suck the belly all the way in. Just use the abdominals, hug the bottom ribs towards the top of the hips, and then from there, extend up and see how that feels. And then extend and extend and extend. Roll the shoulder blades underneath you. Take your hands underneath you and press the palms together and the pinky side of the palms down to the mat. Lift it all the way up. Give yourself a few breaths right here. And exhale, release the hands and take it all the way back down. Give yourself a little pause, and we'll do one more when we come up onto our toes. And this time we'll have the hands on the sides, so you can choose again here to hold the mat, hold the sides, or clasp your hands. Here we go. Roll shoulder blades underneath you by pressing the head. Inhale all the way up, and then walk your toes in perhaps a little bit and arch and bring your femurs in towards the hip socket, and then from there lift it all the way up. Just coming a little bit further up in towards the hips and getting a little bend and maybe a little awakening in towards the hips, in towards the quads. Create lots of space. Skin to muscle, muscle to bone, hug everything into the midline, and then from there organically extend out. And then by doing that, we're just pulsating energy to the midline and back out again, and cleaning and clearing layers. Release the hands and put your sit bone down towards the floor. Take your feet flat. Take your hands onto the quads and push your quads away from you, and give yourself a few nice breaths right here. Nice. Take your arms out to the side. Give yourself a couple of windshield wipers and untie any knots in the lower back, in the hips, and make space for more back bends. Well, now we'll come to either exactly what you did, or we'll take the same version but up on our hands if that is for you. A few more side to side. And then gently from here, take your feet onto the floor. Take your arms up over your head for a nice long side of the waist. Take your hands by the shoulders, elbows up to the sky, pinky out to the side, so the second finger is facing forward. And then we'll come back to the very beginning of our class where we pull the lower belly all the way in and just really hug the midline in, and keep that nice hugging in and stabilize in towards the lower back and sacral region. And of course, we have to bend against that to make it into a back bend, but just kind of make a little remembrance here and hold it all the way into the midline. Come up to the top of the head, give yourself a pause right here, walk your hands in, pull the upper arm bones in, and then first back bend, hands down, feet down, and extend out, Urdhva Dhanurasana, and we stay for 3 to 5 breaths. Softening all the layers and at the same time pulsating everything into the midline. Staying nice and steady in the feet and the hands. And gently release. Take it all the way back down and hands down to the side. And we'll take a little pause right here and we'll do it again. We'll bring it all the way back up. While we have our momentum going, take the arms up and over. Bring the ribs all the way in. Take your hands by the shoulders. Turn your pinky slightly out so your elbows are straight up towards the sky. Plug the femurs in and roll the lower back in towards the mat. That's something that I like to do. There are many ways, so pick one that works for you. Hug the midline, skin to muscle, muscle to bone, and from there extend up into Urdhva Dhanurasana. And you might walk your feet in and come up onto the toes and give yourself a nice extension right here. Breathing, softening, and just being in your bend, whichever it is, and staying maybe an extra breath to really saturate all the layers, building some new awareness for the body. And then slowly walk your feet out, tilt your head in, and make your way back down to the floor. And give yourself just a pause, and we'll do one more. We'll take one more in and up. So another breath right here, melting, softening, and letting all of that just sip into the layers of our energy body, of our physical body that needs an update. Because there was a lot of hugging in and extending out, so there's like a constant exchange of vibrations. Take your arms again up over your head, long side body. Take your hands to the shoulders, and one more, plug the lower back all the way in towards the mat, hug it all the way in, and then keep that as we extend out, which means we're going to use our core a whole lot. Take your head towards the floor, come up on the toes, walk the hands in, and extend up into Urdhva Dhanurasana. Take 3. Claw the fingertips, moving about. Take it to a comfortable place for you. If you lift your heels up, then sometimes it feels a little bit easier for the hips and for the back. So play around with it, the heels down or up on your toes. And gently walk your feet and come all the way down onto the back. And take your hands to your thighs and push your thighs away and create space for the femurs and the lower back. Should be some nice untangling of energy in the lower back. Few more breaths right here. And then gently extend your right leg up to the sky and your left leg forward. Spread your toes, grounding and rooting your right femur down, even out the hips. Full extension on both legs, and then bending your right knee in and switch sides. Take your left knee in and extend your left leg up to the sky. Spread your toes nice and wide. Hands into hamstrings. Pull those hands downward so that your hamstrings feels nice and grounded, and it should create a nice opening for the lower back. And a few more breaths right here. then gently bend your knee and bring both knees in. We're going to make our way up to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and we're going to take it from our down dog to a little bit closer down dog, walking the feet forward, have them a little wider, and so it's more like a V, I guess, or like a shorter down dog version. I've heard it being called elephant pose. So identify with it however you'd like to. I like to just use this to ground femurs and to bring our hips and our ankles above and below each other. You might come up onto your fingertips and you might bend your knees even a little bit more and just kind of pull your seat back and really create lots of nice space for that lower back. Few breaths right here. Breathing, softening, and then gently coming and walking your way back out to down dog. To step one foot between the hands, 4 feet wide apart, Prasarita Padottanasana, and turn your toes slightly in and your heels slightly out so that you have a nice feeling of having the hamstrings straight towards the back. And then from here, we're going to take the right hand outside the left shin ankle and the left arm up to the sky for twisty turny. Into the midline, into the center, into the hips, the whole torso. Exhale, release, hands to the floor, and switch to the second side. Left hand outside your right shin ankle. Take your right arm up to the sky. Twisty turny, Prasarita Padottanasana. And exhale, release, bring it all the way back down and hands to the floor. Come back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come into child's pose, big toes together, knees apart, and really just let those femurs ground back down. Stretch your arms all the way forward. And we're closing up our back bend practice by taking a nice, yummy, long forward fold. You might take your knees even wider. You might take your feet a little wider for more like a froggy pose. If you need more hip release or sacral release, stretching the arms forward. And gently from here, come all the way up to your seat and sit comfortably, whether it is on your knees or if it's crossing your legs. Find a good place to sit and sit nice and tall on the sit bones, or you might be laying down into Shavasana. So anything that works for you and that makes your practice feel really good. Sit nice and tall on the sit bones, and we're just gonna let all of those poses sink into the places where they need to reside in our body, where they need to bring some peace, some calm, change up the vibrations, our frequencies, and help us along our journey. So let's take a few moments, turn the palms up and sit. Pulling the ears slightly back and having a nice clear line of the spine, a nice natural neutral spine with even transportation of energies to all parts. There was a lot of bending, there was a lot of purifying the spine. And gently from here, bringing the palms together in front of the heart. And we join our voices in one Om to close our practice up. Take a nice big inhale. And thank you so much for joining me for day 26 of our 30 days of yoga together with different peak poses. to raise our vibrations and switch up our frequencies to something that we never even knew was there. So I hope you enjoy this journey, and I will see you tomorrow for day 27, and we are going to bend forward into Paschimottanasana and some variants. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you very much. Make sure to take your Shavasana, lay nice and cozy on your back, put some blankets, pillows around you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.